Hello and welcome to our channel. Today's episode is your emergency survival guide. Unfortunately, emergencies can happen at any time, and it's essential to be prepared and know what to do. In this episode, we'll be discussing 10 different emergency situations and the steps you can take to survive them. Let's start with the first emergency situation: house fire. A house fire can be a terrifying experience, but by knowing what to do, you can increase your chances of survival. Here are the steps you need to take. Get down low and crawl to avoid inhaling smoke and toxic gases. Stay under the smoke and find a way out of the building, using doors or windows. Feel doors before opening them to check whether they're hot or not, and choose an alternate escape route if necessary. Evacuate immediately and don't go back inside the building. The second emergency situation is a flood. A flood can be caused by heavy rainfall, melting snow, or a broken dam. Here are the steps you need to take. Evacuate to higher ground as quickly as possible, avoiding flooded areas and standing water. Avoid walking or driving through flowing water, as it can be deeper and faster moving than it appears. Stay away from electrical sources and appliances. Follow evacuation orders from local authorities. The third emergency situation is a hurricane. Hurricanes are dangerous storms that can cause significant damage and loss of life. Here are the steps you need to take. Secure windows and doors with shutters or plywood, and turn off propane tanks. Evacuate if you are told to do so by local authorities. Have an emergency supply kit ready, including food, water, first aid supplies, and a battery-operated radio. Listen to local radio or television for updates and instructions from officials. The fourth emergency situation is a tornado. Tornadoes can cause severe damage and injury, or loss of life, so it's very important to know what to do. Here are the steps you need to take. Go to a low-lying area, such as a basement or storm shelter, if available. If you're in a building, go to a small interior room, such as a bathroom or closet, and cover yourself with something to protect against flying debris. Stay away from windows and open spaces, and stay tuned to local media for updates and instructions. The fifth emergency situation is an earthquake. Earthquakes can cause significant damage and injury, or death, and can happen at any time. Here are the steps you need to take. If you're indoors, take cover under a sturdy table or desk, and hold on until the shaking stops. If you're outdoors, move to an open space away from buildings, power lines, and other hazards. Stay away from the coast if there is a possibility of a tsunami. Check for injuries and provide first aid if necessary. The sixth emergency situation is a winter storm. Winter storms can cause power outages, road closures, and other hazards, so it's important to be prepared. Here are the steps you need to take. Stay indoors as much as possible and limit your exposure to the cold. Wear layers of warm clothing, including a hat, gloves, and a scarf. Keep a winter storm kit ready, including food, water, and a battery-powered radio. Avoid driving unless it's necessary, and use caution on roads that are covered in snow or ice. The seventh emergency situation is a landslide. Landslides can be triggered by heavy rainfall, earthquakes, or other causes, and can cause significant damage. Here are the steps you need to take. Evacuate immediately if you're in a landslide-prone area or if you hear a loud roar or see movement in the ground. Stay away from the base of a landslide, as it can continue to move and cause additional damage. Follow evacuation orders from local authorities, and listen to local radio or television for updates and instructions. The eighth emergency situation is a chemical spill. Chemical spills can release hazardous substances into the environment, causing harm to people and wildlife. Here are the steps you need to take. Evacuate immediately if you're in the area of the spill, and avoid contact with the spilled material. Follow evacuation orders from local authorities, and listen to local radio or television for updates and instructions. Seek medical attention if you have been exposed to the chemical and are experiencing symptoms such as coughing, wheezing, or skin irritation. The ninth emergency situation is a nuclear power plant incident. Nuclear power plants use radioactivity to produce electricity, and a nuclear incident can release hazardous radioactive materials into the environment. Here are the steps you need to take. Follow evacuation orders from local authorities, and listen to local radio or television for updates and instructions. Stay indoors with windows and doors closed and shut off ventilation systems, such as air conditioning and heating. Seek medical attention if you have been exposed to radioactive material and are experiencing symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, or skin irritation. The 10th and final emergency situation is a terrorist attack. Terrorist attacks can cause significant damage, injury, and loss of life, and can occur at any time and place. Here are the steps you need to take. Evacuate the area immediately if you're in the vicinity of the attack, and follow the directions of law enforcement officials. Stay away from the area, and don't attempt to drive or walk through roadblocks or other barriers. Report any suspicious activity to law enforcement, and be prepared to cooperate with investigations. And those are the steps you can take to survive 10 different emergency situations. Remember, being prepared and knowing what to do can greatly increase your chances of survival in an emergency. Thank you for watching, and stay safe. You can subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell, if you wish to do so.